Hello and welcome to Big Picture. I'm Vishal Dahiya, and today we're going to talk about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's address at the 75th United Nations General Assembly, wherein he has not only highlighted the need for reforms in the processes and responses of United Nations, but also the important role played by India during the COVID-19 pandemic and several other issues as well. To further try and understand what exactly the Prime Minister has said and what does it mean for the world community at large as well, we have a very distinguished panel of guests today with us. Let me first introduce them to you, beginning with former Ambassador Prabhu Dayal, who is with us. We also have Professor Harsh V. Pant, head of the Strategic Studies program at ORF, and we are also joined by Mr. K.V. Prasad, the Senior Associate Editor at The Tribune. Welcome, all of you gentlemen, to Rajya Sabha TV. Let me begin with you, Mr. Prasad, and let's start by, highlighting the main points of Prime Minister's address. There are several aspects which he has brought on for.
I think one of the biggest things the Prime Minister had said straight away was the issue of the relevance of United Nations itself, because he very clearly mentioned that when it was formed in 1945, the world has changed in the last 75 years, and has the UN kept pace with the changing face of the world. And of course, making a case for India being in the entire, because India has been pressing for long for reforms in the United Nations, and he said Indians are waiting with a lot of patience to see when is this process going to come to a culmination, because this is something which we've been talking about and hearing about. I think the second aspect of it also was India's contribution in this times of pandemic. The global pandemic that has affected in the last 6 to 8 months has played out differently in different countries. And I think the Prime Minister made a very big announcement by saying that India is ready to serve the world in terms of supply of vaccine. And that is something he gave an assurance to the General Assembly, meaning that India is going to play a major role in trying to, when the things go out in terms of vaccines and its the way it's need to be supplied, India will have a major role to play. And of course, the issue of terror has always been an issue of life. If you remember, India has moved for a comprehensive convention on international terrorism, something again which the envelope is being pushed by India and Indian diplomats at the United Nations for several years. I think these are the big takeaways I would see. But the larger question always was the United Nations reforms. And coming as it does, because come January 2021, India will be part of the non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. And we've already spelled out our vision of the 5 S's that the Prime Minister and India has spelled out earlier. So I think it's in this virtual summit, the virtual presentation that the Prime Minister made, his speech, like all other members of the international community, India has made its point on these issues, is what I feel.
Okay. That's almost sums up the entirety of what Prime Minister put across as the views of all Indians there. Let me bring in Mr. Prabhu Dayal here. Mr. Dayal, you've been there as India's voice. This one particular aspect, if we take up from the Prime Minister's speech, wherein he clearly pointed out, saying how long will a country like India have to wait for these reforms to kick in and for it to have its rightful place in the United Nations?
I entirely agree with Mr. Prasad that the main focus of the Prime Minister's speech was to call for a reform of the United Nations and also put across India's strengths. The Prime Minister very rightly said that the world was significantly different in 1945. The problems, solutions were all different. And he said that challenges of our present and future are different. The international community is faced with an important question. Is the United Nations of 1945 still relevant? Because of the fact that world gave very little importance to India. India was not even an independent country in 1945. Today, India is one of the leading global players. And that is why the Prime Minister, even in his address to ECOSOC on 17 July earlier this year, had called for reformed multilateralism. If you recall, he had said only reformed multilateralism with a reformed United Nations at its center can meet the aspirations of humanity. So in his address to the United Nations today, he again called for a reform of the United Nations because he said reform is needed in the UN. UN enjoys respect in India, he said. Indians' belief in the United Nations is unparalleled, but then Indians are waiting for the reform of the United Nations. And the fact that he made this statement on virtually the eve of India entering the United Nations as a non-permanent member of the Security Council sounded the kind of feelings that we have been approaching the world with, and that is that India should be given a seat as a permanent member of the Security Council. The Prime Minister didn't say that, but it was very apparent from everything else that he said that he was calling for a reform of the United Nations where India would be given its due place.
Okay.
I think that was my biggest takeaway from his address.
Okay. There it is. That obviously was the clear message which the Prime Minister intended to send there. Professor Pant, the Prime Minister not only spoke about reforms in the processes, but also reform in the responses which have been put across by United Nations, and specifically the latest one is obviously COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes, I think, the larger point seems to be that India is not simply demanding that India becomes a member of the UN Security Council or, becomes a permanent member of the UN Security Council. But I think there is a larger point that Prime Minister made. The point was that the global multilateral order is under stress, unlike any time in the past. You have two major powers that are pulling in opposite directions. You have a power which is rising, which is challenging the very fundamentals of that order. And you have a power that had established this, is no longer concerned about it, or seemingly no longer concerned about it. So in that context, if you see India's role, in particular, if you go back to the early months of COVID-19, where China was involved with its own internal constraints, America was looking more and more inwards. European Union, an entity like European Union, was busy with its own internal dysfunctionalities. India emerged as a country with with a very responsible take on this problem, not only galvanizing response in its neighborhood, but also calling for a larger G20 response to this problem. So in a sense, leadership was represented not in the traditional frameworks or not in the traditional leadership structures, but in an emerging power like India that embodied that leadership. So in a sense, if you don't rectify, the Prime Minister's message said, the multilateral order, then you are going to end up in a kind of dysfunctional multilateral order that you saw during the initial months of COVID-19 pandemic. And I think that is the message that he wants to extrapolate, that multilateral order is fraying and there is a danger of becoming greater fragmentation coming our way. And unless countries like India are given their due seat at the table, unless they are brought on board, I think the larger problem that the world is facing in terms of global governance will only going to get magnified. And I think that's a very important point because that's a change in the tenor of India's response. India is not simply saying, look, we need to be there. We have contributed so much. We have done so much. It is also a problem about the global order. So not only India demands to be there, but also the global order will not be able to sustain if India is not there.
Okay. Mr. Prasad, that's, quite right, as Professor Pant is pointing out, but quite emphatic, coming in from Prime Minister and in as many words, saying that India obviously is the largest democracy in the world, and how long a country like India can be, kept away from the decision-making process of an organization like United Nations.
Well, I think that was what I had said in the beginning too. And I think just to add to what Professor Pant was also saying, one of the statements, he did make a point that if you look at the response of the global response in particular, and also the response of the United Nations, he almost said, where was the United Nations when this COVID crisis was emerging and when the multilateral order was not, there were a lot of dysfunctionalities, as Professor Pant said. So in effect, we are trying to say, look, India is there, we are doing our bit, we're doing a bit more than what people expect of us. And this is the leadership role. In fact, if you remember the 3-4 speeches, including the G20 speech that you referred to in this debate, one of the issues that has always been pointed out that we have to perform and reform with the human face, because this is what COVID pandemic has taught people, because it's a humanitarian effort that needs requirement. when everybody was looking inward. India went and supplied medicines and other things to the world. So much so that we all heard even President Trump of America saying what he did, and many other countries acknowledging India's contribution, including the neighborhood. So this is where you look forward. How do you look? And as I say, every crisis also offers an opportunity to say that here are the, while we are fighting our own battles and we are tackling our own problems, we are also available to the world to offer what we can.
Okay. Ambassador Dayal, would you agree to this particular aspect wherein it's clearly coming out that, while nations who are part of the Security Council, two big powers are busy pointing fingers at each other in these pandemic times, India has had a very stellar role to play, leading from the front by doing all it can to help other nations on the vaccine development, on other aspects as well?
I think that's entirely true. And in fact, the Prime Minister also underlined the fact that over 150 countries were sent medical supplies by Indian pharmaceutical companies during the COVID crisis. And he also said that India's vaccine production will help in bringing the world out of the pandemic. Now, which other country has done so much for other countries of the world, particularly the smaller ones for whom nobody cares about? And that is why I think the Prime Minister made a very telling argument when he said India has always stressed on good for the whole world in the United Nations. Of course, he carried on by saying that India is looking for an extended role in the UN, which again was a takeoff from his earlier remarks that till when will India be kept away from the UN's decision-making process? I think the wrong has to be righted. And unless we appeal and reach out to the international community, particularly on such an important occasion as the commemoration of the 75th anniversary of the United Nations, nobody will do it for us. We have to reach out and try and get things done. I think the Prime Minister made a very, very forthright and strong appeal. He said the people of India are worried whether the process will reach a logical end. What process? The reform process. Because 75 years after it was set up, the United Nations in its present form, in its present structure, doesn't reflect global realities today. And I think it is very necessary that it should do so. And I think the Prime Minister was absolutely right in underlining these facts.
Clearly, Prime Minister speaking from a position of strength, putting across the viewpoint. But one more aspect, and Professor Pant, I'd like to begin with you this particular round. That is the issue of terror, which India has time and again raised at international forums and specifically at United Nations as well. Once again, the Prime Minister has underlined that terror is one particular issue which will have to be dealt with directly by all concerned.
Yes, and I think one of the signal, policy measures that this government has taken over the last few years is to amplify this message about terrorism on all possible fora. So I think to use this occasion to once again reiterate India's commitment to fighting terror and also to making sure that multilateral frameworks like the UN become more robust when it comes to tackling terror. After all, we know that there are fundamental problems in the way UN has approached this problem. There are fundamental issues there which remain unresolved. And unless they are resolved, UN cannot possibly position itself as a robust defender of certain values that it espouses to promote, and therefore fighting terror becomes that much more important, and that to enhance its credibility. And I think one of the things that across spectrum you witness in Prime Minister's statement is that without naming China, he was juxtaposing the differences between India and China, between a country that is a responsible global stakeholder on all issues versus other countries, seemingly those countries that perhaps are not, and there the target was clearly China. Whether he was reiterating India's commitment to fighting terrorism, whether it was India's democratic credentials, whether it was what India has been able to achieve domestically, what India has been able to do with its neighbors in terms of a neighborhood first policy, where India does not really provoke its neighbors but build relations with them. I think there was a larger meta narrative emerging from the statement that, look, you have which was about telling United Nations that you have in UN Security Council countries like China that have been very detrimental to the larger framework of multilateralism. And here is a country like India that had always been building or strengthening that multilateral framework despite being on the outside. And that's a very important point to make at a time when not only we have our bilateral differences with China, but also a large part of the world is facing the pressure from China. So when you talk of this issue of terrorism, you also look at it how China has played a role that has been very detrimental to taking this cause forward. And when he pinpoints that at a forum like this, he's also targeting individual countries and apportioning blame without naming any country, that it is a responsibility of certain nations, of major powers in particular, to rise up to the occasion and make sure that a challenge like terrorism is confronted and dealt with. And I think he made that point. That point came across very, very powerfully in this statement as well.
Okay, Mr. Prasad, would you agree that the underlying, message there across in all those points, and specifically the one which he made on terror, was that India has been working, as Professor Pant is pointing out, adding towards, the concept of multilateralism, while others have not been so forthright and so helpful?
Yeah, and I think adding to that is the issue that the Prime Minister did flag, is that India contributes one of the largest contributions is the United Nations Peacekeeping Force, which again signifies India's commitment to this thing. We are the ones who India submits, goes only to the Blue Beret forces, and also promotes international peace, and said that we have lost the largest number of people who have sacrificed their life in keeping peace in other parts of the world which are strife-torn. So that again shows the commitment of India. While it has own battles against terrorism emanating in its neighborhood, it's also contributing for global peace and global order under the United Nations flag.
Okay. And Mr. Dayal, terror has been a very important issue for us. We've been suffering because of this for quite some time now, and we made it abundantly clear on several occasions. With Prime Minister raising this issue at a forum like this once again, the intended message, as Professor Pant was pointing out, was obviously towards those who are indulging in these acts of terror or supporting these acts of terror.
Well, the Prime Minister's appeal was of a global nature, because he said terrorist attacks have shaken the world. Of course, India has suffered greatly, but I think the Prime Minister was trying to point out that the entire world needs to be concerned about it. Let me mention that there was a terrorist attack in Paris today, and the person who was involved in it turned out to be a person of Pakistani origin. Now, the global community is increasingly realizing Pakistan's involvement directly or indirectly in terrorist activities all over the world. And the Prime Minister didn't mention any country by name. But the world realizes where the problem lies. And I think the world does need to take action. There are countries which are coming in the way of even an international convention against terrorism. There are countries which are coming in the way of countries which sponsor terrorism being brought to the book. China, for instance, has been extremely protective of Pakistan, and the world must wake up to realities. I think the Prime Minister was extremely subtle in his remarks. He didn't point towards any country in particular, but I think the message was there for all to see, because if there is terrorism affecting the world, then the world must wake up and realize where it is emanating from and what action should be taken.
Okay, so Ambassador Dayal, all these issues, if you look at, the issue of terror, the issue of reforms in the processes and responses at the United Nations as well, and obviously the way COVID-19 pandemic has been dealt with and how India has taken the lead in helping others, neighbors, and several other countries as well. That clearly summarizes the, the theme of the Prime Minister's address. But underlying it, what exactly do you think was the Prime Minister trying to make a point there?
I think the Prime Minister was pointing out the innumerable challenges that confront the global community. The fact that the United Nations should be at the center of combating all the challenges, but the fact that the United Nations has not been able to keep pace with reform prevents the United Nations from fulfilling its role properly. And that is why the Prime Minister said very clearly that how long will the world wait? Indians are waiting for the opportunity to be able to play their global role more fully. The Prime Minister underlined the numerous steps which India has taken as a responsible member of the international community. And he underlined the fact that India has a strong commitment to maintain the relevance of this great institution, the United Nations. So I think by and large, he was appealing to the international community not to obstruct the reform of the United Nations, because that would come in the way of overcoming the challenges which are being faced by the global community. Rather, that everyone should cooperate in this exercise. And of course, the signal was to those countries which are coming in the way of United Nations reform. And I think by and large, his remarks have been very well received from what I can gather by way of the international coverage on this.
Okay. Professor Pant, would you agree that it was all about, conveying very clearly in no uncertain words that the time has come for India to play a larger role, or rather the time has come for India to be given its overdue at forums like United Nations?
I think so. I think it was a message that conveyed the role that India has traditionally played in multilateral forums like the UN. It was a message about India's global engagements over the last few decades and continued global engagement today. And it was a message that, look, India will continue to play the role that India has always played. But if India's involvement is not increased in the UN, then it is the UN's credibility that goes down. It is the UN that loses its sheen. It is the UN that the multilateral order that UN wants to create that gets weakened. So it is not simply about India getting a seat at the high table. It is about how UN sees its future at a critical juncture, the 75 years of its inception, and at a time when it is beset with multiple problems. It can take two routes. It can either strengthen itself by bringing in countries like India, or it can continue along the same path and eventually towards oblivion. And I think that's a message that came out very strongly, and also a sense that multilateral orders are something that are very important from India's perspective, and that order, if India is part of it formally as a member of the UN, UN's permanent member of the Security Council, then it helps the UN, it helps UN's credibility. But nonetheless, I think the larger message remained that India has continued to play a very, very proactive role on the global stage, and in the future that role would not go down. But largely, it is up to the UN to decide how it intends to take its own future, whether it wants to take it seriously or whether it wants to jettison the kind of responsibilities that were given to it in 1945.
Okay. Clearly, India getting to play a larger role in the decision-making process out there will not only benefit the United Nations, but all other countries as well. Mr. Prasad, your concluding comments before we wind this discussion up?
Well, I think just to add and juxtapose it to the larger issue that everybody is now debating, there is going to be a new world post-pandemic. So how is the world going to prepare for itself? While the challenges exist as of now, the face, but the world is going to be vastly different. This is what most policymakers are looking at. And UN, being a multilateral forum, offers that kind of a platform where all people can put their heads together and see what kind of world we're going to put ourselves into in the next few years.
Okay. It is. Thank you so much, Mr. Prasad, Professor Harsh V. Pant, as well as Mr. Prabhu Dayal, for sharing your time and views with us in trying to decode the Prime Minister's address at the United Nations General Assembly, as the Prime Minister seemingly making it clear out there that it is the right time for reforms in the processes and responses of the United Nations, and also clearly saying or detailing India's role, which it has played very well in this COVID-19 pandemic as well, also highlighting the menace of terror and the need to tackle it. We'll come back again tomorrow with a different topic. Till then, keep watching Rajya Sabha Television. Thank you.